Well, Rachel, I've been in the courtroom for all three of these arraignments now, and I'm struck by, in a strange way, how much more comfortable Donald Trump is getting in these scenarios. I was in the courtroom in New York where the whole time he was tight and tense and kind of glowering straight ahead, and you could really feel the gravity in the room at that hearing. In Miami, it was a little bit less so. And in this room today, he seemed so much more comfortable and practiced at this, which is such a bizarre thing to say. But he was kind of joking a little bit with his attorney at the table. He was looking around the room, basically at everyone except Jack Smith, who kind of made a point. I think they probably made eye contact right as Trump entered the room. And then after that, Smith made a point to look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump made a point to look everywhere in the room except at Jack Smith. And watching the dynamic between those two men kind of at the center of this drama has been fascinating to me. When Donald Trump left the room, Smith made a point to go around and shake hands, kind of clap the shoulders of even junior members of his team. He was laughing and smiling. You got the sense that for Smith, this is a home game. But for Donald Trump, this is becoming something that he is used to and that he is kind of learning his way around, trying to manipulate it basically to his political advantage. You can see the difference in how he's handled this from one arraignment to the next to the next. And the other part about this, to me, you guys were talking to, officers who were involved in January 6th, the judges who've been presiding over this case. There were several of those judges who've overseen other January 6th related cases in this courtroom, watching from the back of the courtroom. The chief judge here in D.C., Judge Boasberg, was there. Amy Berman Jackson was in the back of the room, watching this case play out. I mean, for folks who have lived this for the last 2.5 years, including those officers, these judges, so many of us in the press corps who've lived January 6th and have covered it since. I mean, this was a moment to see and to witness and to want to be in that room, because it is kind of this key moment in this drama that we've all been living for 2.5 years, including those judges.
Garrett, I know we don't have you for long. I just want to ask about one moment when the judge told Trump the most important thing about his release is that he not commit crimes while he's on release, and that it is a crime to try to influence a juror. That reads very sternly on paper. What was that moment like in person?
It felt stern in the room, and Rachel, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about this judge's procedures to know if that's a pro forma warning she gives to every defendant. But given the nature of this defendant and the way we know he behaves, the way we know he talks about witnesses and judges and, people in his orbit who he might feel like are potentially threats to him later on the line, it carries that additional gravity, right? I mean, we've seen how he talked about the judge in the New York case. We've seen the way that he tries to threaten and intimidate using his social media platform or his comments in rallies. So I wonder how closely that admonition will be monitored in every public statement that Donald Trump makes going forward. You guys rightly talked about kind of the very basic nature of what he said at the airport here. Very quick comment, the kind of thing his lawyers were probably very happy to see. He has two big speeches, Friday night, Saturday night of this weekend, where he will be on much longer leash. And how seriously he takes that admonition when he's kind of up and free from the confines of a courtroom and the close watch of his lawyers, I think is going to be very interesting to watch over the next few weeks and months.